Hello, gentle viewer. I'm Thak. Welcome back. At long last, the assembly. We're actually going to get this thing together. So let's get right into it without further delay and start assembling pieces. I am cutting straps with my handy strap cutting implement, and 3/4 inch wide is what I typically use to on most applications in armor. It tends to be about the right width. Also, I use a 3/4 inch buckle for most of my attachment points, so it just seems to be about the right size for most armor attachments. So there is some strapping now. I want to start putting my pieces together. You can see since we last on camera, I've been deep into the process now. I took my half helmet lamination there and I actually added another piece on the front there and became an actual tiny little bowl of a helmet there. So that is what we're using for our inner skull cap, if you will. And now what I want to do is put the strapping on there. I have to apologize, we have construction going on outside, so we've got a little bit of background noise that we cannot control today. Sorry about that. So what I want to do is now start strapping my pieces together. I've got my 4 pieces here and I need to start forming them together and get the strapping on there. First of all, I'm going to put holes in place. I'm looking at my picture now and it looks like from my little center ridge there, the rivet holes are about 2 inches out and about 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to get my center line drawn in there, and at this point I'll just eyeball out 2 inches and establish that one, and up about that far. So that's where that one is. Now if I can just grab a measuring device, I will do the same thing to the other side. Going out actually 2.5. So I'm going to drill those out and then start marking out the others. So I'm going to now extend my line downward. Now I'm going to punch a hole in the top of this strap here and get another one, and I'm just leaving these things as long as they are. I'll trim them to length after. And now I'm just going to temporarily bolt the strap in place so I can start laying out how this all goes together here. Like so. Now I can take my second lamination here and fit it into place. Just balance things out, and then I will just mark on the leather where that goes. I'll do it on this other side, and then I will measure to make sure that these two distances are equal. Okay, that balanced out nicely. So I'll punch these holes and then I attach that piece on and then move on down, so on and so on. Here it is. I've got all the straps in place. You can see that it moves. I need to do a little refining on that. It will move better and better as I actually work with that, massage it into place, and we'll see how it actually goes on my head. And that is not too bad. Probably need to do a little bit of flaring out there, but more or less that's looking pretty good. So be honest with me, does this helmet make me look fat?
Yes.
Anyway, that piece done. I am now working on the falling Bevor here. So this has been, I was working on these pieces earlier, so you've seen that. And now I am just trying to wrestle with getting this whole thing functioning, which will fit into here at some point. Not yet. And just trying to get rid of all the distortions and get this thing functioning properly. So that's what I'm working with now. I'll be able to add the laminations on. That's what I'm going to do next. I'm working now on the falling Bevor here. I want this to be able to be down in the open position like this and locked up in the upper position. And to facilitate that, I have gone ahead and made this little spring pin apparatus here. And that was made out of a bandsaw blade, which is quite springy, and I often will do these things just out of my old bandsaw blades. I'll break them up and then just drill some holes in. And what I did was actually use a rivet. I just used a tiny rivet and then welded a shaft onto it to make it longer, to make a stem there. But anyway, I want to now drill the hole for this and get this attached, mounted in. So I'm just trying to figure out where I want my holes, and just doing it like that. I see my hole to be there. So I'm going to pop a hole in there and drill it out to 3/8. My shaft is 5/16, but I'm going to need a fair bit of play in that because it's, as you spring it, it's not going to be going straight in and out, it's going to be angling. So you need a fairly oversized hole to facilitate that movement. And now I'm just going to drill it out with 3/8. I will touch that up with the grinder. So I'm going to mark this hole. And I'll have to drill that out. Okay. And there we have it. It clicks into place. Push it down, it'll drop there, and then just click up. So that's pretty cool. Let me try it in position. It worked. All right, so I want to do the pivot on the visor and actually make it pivot as a visor. And I think its resting place in position is there. Now I'm just going to see pivot wise, I have to now imagine it's moving. I believe, based on my pictures, that the pivot point is somewhere around here, which seems to be making sense on the movement that I'm seeing. So I'm just going to take a chance here and put a hole in there. I will measure the other side, locate that, put a hole there, and then we will check the helmet again. I'm back on the helmet now, and let's see if I can reach and get. I'm looking to mark my first side for the pivot. Just trying to determine as many reference points as I can find to make sure each side is symmetrical. That looks like that might be just fine. So let's try that, give it a shot. Okay, moment of truth. Get some bolts. So I've got it now that its pivoting is still hanging up in a couple of spots there and needs a little bit more fine tuning. But more or less we've got the pieces working together. Bevor piece on here. I'm gonna have to do some more fine tuning on that one too. This will slip in here. Walk up in place, down. That's about the closed position. So I've got everything roughed into its functional shapes here, and still a fair bit of fine tuning, but then I need just to make a couple more pieces. I need to make these little pieces coming down in the cheek here. I need to make the bottom fangs. So I'm gonna get on that, and then we can start assembling this whole thing together, get the last steel pieces in, and then start putting the strapping and making this all into one functional piece. So we're getting there. All right, so I'm putting these straps on, attaching the straps to this here. And the process, I probably should mention it, I'm taking for granted that it seems pretty self-evident, but maybe not so much. So what I'm using is a 3/16 round head rivet. You might not be able to home in on that very well, but it's a 3/16 rivet and it's 3/8 of an inch long. That's the shaft length there, which tends to work out pretty good for putting a leather strap and a piece of 18 gauge steel together. It's about the right length. So I'm gonna bring the camera down here to show you what I'm doing now and just show you this entire process. Okay, so the rivet is inserted into the hole and then through the leather. Now it's going through there. I've got my rivet set, which is a domed tool that's ready to accept the rivet head. So I set the rivet onto that, make sure it's seated in there, and then I take my 3/16 washer, put that in, and I just hold it down with my thumbnail And now, if everything's seated properly, I can start tapping on the rivet. And what I'm doing, I'm not trying to close a rivet like when you're putting together two plates permanently. What I'm trying to do is just peen over the edges of this rivet. I want to keep some space in there. I want it to be loose. So I'm just using the ball peen and I'm kind of skating off the edges of the rivet there and creating a little bit of a mushroom head. And once I've got the washer captured in there with a little bit of movement, this allows, watch, you can see the strap moves quite freely, and this gives a lot of mobility with this type of lamination in armor. So you can get something that moves quite freely, but at the same time it's being held very securely. So that is the process for this. Let's continue on and rivet the rest of these straps together. Okay, so one final awkward assembly step here, which is getting the visor actually attached to the helmet itself. So there's just no way around this. It is awkward, and I'm just not sure how it's going to go, but let's try that. I've decided what I'm going to use is a truss head rivet. That is something with a very, very flat head. Reason being, looking at all the photographs and all the images and stuff like that, the rivet for the visor seems to be something very flat and kind of not even really there. So I'm using these. I don't really like them. To me, they look they just scream modern sheet metal to me, but I'm going to use it in this case just to have something that is very nondescript as far as that rivet head. But anyway, I'm stalling here. Let me get into this. I'm going to start out bolting. I'm going to bolt the one side together to get it held roughly in position, then I can get the other rivet in, and let's just see how this goes together. And that should do it. So there we have it. I don't know if you can focus in, you can see there's quite a bit of looseness. You do a very long rivet for your visor pivot. You want something with quite a bit of movement in it, especially with this sculpted visor. It has to be able to move freely back and forth. So there's got to be, this cannot be a tight fit here. It needs to have quite a bit of play in order for it to move properly. So there we go. We've got the pieces together now. The moment of truth, will it actually be wearable now that it's all together? So I'm going to attempt to put this thing on here. Let's just do this in real time and see how this goes. Drop the Bevor down. It is a little bit restrictive on my ears, but in order to get all the pieces working, everything's kind of overlapping in the way here. So let's just see what happens when I put this guy on. There we have it. I think more or less we'd have to get it padded and balanced into place there, but it seems to be fitting okay. My ocular area there is working, and I see now that the snarl is actually part of the brows on this. Didn't really realize until I got inside here now how things look from the inside looking out. It's kind of cool having these fangs here. And that drops away there. Just in place. I would still put a catch there if I was going to wear this, because I don't want it slamming down all the time. We have not done that, but I think more or less, and I don't know what I'm looking like without a mirror here, but it seems to be fitting reasonably comfortable. There would be some tweaking and fine tuning and some padding to get everything balanced properly, but there we have it. So let me take that off. So looking back over the entire process now, just to give you some of my thoughts here, it was a very challenging build, and I knew the visor would be. The issues I ran into with the rest of the helmet was that I was reverse engineering from the outside in, which always makes for trickiness. Typically I start from as close to the body as possible and work out from there. Trying to nail down the shape on this visor here and working in just made for some complications later on as I started to fit pieces inside, but I'm not sure that there's really any other way to go about it, because the sculpture is what dictates what the final shape is. The person inside dictates the inner parameters of that, and it's just trying to meet those two together was a challenging thing. So that's just something specific for this particular build. Other than that, it was fairly straightforward. The helmet was relatively straightforward as how it went together. A bit of an odd design, I found, that with the skull, the small skull, and a lot of laminations on there, that lobster tail starting very high up. So that is very unusual from a historical perspective. Also, I found it kind of weird the way that the Bevor section sits a lamination lower than the helmet section, almost like it was an afterthought. And to me, it just seems a little unbalanced, but I was just kind of following the design as closely as I could. Speaking of which, I deviated from the design here or there as I typically do. I wasn't trying to go for 100% accuracy at Canon version of this, but I was trying to get a reasonable facsimile as close as possible to really get the idea of what the overall effect of that helmet is. And I think we have captured that. To me, it does look like the television version quite a bit, and I think it's a pretty cool helmet. I'm kind of eager to get it padded up and wear it and see how it goes. So I'm just going to slap it on one last time just to see how it feels, and then we are out of here. There we have it. Please subscribe. Thak out.